Good morning, you guys. Thank you so much for your time, either watching this live or watching this replay. My name is Tina Huerman. I'm a mindset coach, a business coach, an author, and hostess of the Detox Divas for my company also. So just a slight introduction. This was kind of a last minute training, but we are gearing up for the first and probably not last fantasy football type draft with our company. And most of the people on this call have been drafted into a team, and then I've invited my team also with the company. So we always hear that fortune is in the follow-up, right? We know that we have to follow up with people in order to get that sale. And a lot of the times, if you're not doing follow-up, they're going to think you forgot about them, that they're not important, that they'll go buy it from someone else. And sometimes you'll even have people that after 6 months of not talking to them, they'll come and say, hey, I still want to buy that stuff. And you're like, dang, I could have had that sale in this month when it really would have mattered. I'm so grateful that she didn't forget about me like I did her. So what you're going to do is you are going to get a big notebook, because this is going to be something you will use for your entire network marketing career. I have only used this for the past 4 months. And like I said, this has been a complete game changer in my follow-up game. And so I wanted to share it with my fantasy network marketing team, and also reshare it with my team also. So I've got it going in both places. So as you are making contacts, one of the things I'm going to do, I did buy myself a new one because this one is just about full of exposures of people that I've talked to. This one will be, I'll start this for the 90-day run. And I'm going to put the intentions, I'm going to tape those here. And then I'm going to do my daily goals on this page. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to open up to page 2, and I'm going to write, I'll come back and fill in. So I'm going to put 7/1/24. I did not write them down yesterday, did not have time. Then I'm going to go 7/2. As you are making these contacts, you're going to write every single person down on this in your first column. And then your second column, just really short, is going to be like an F for Facebook, an I for Instagram, an E for email. And so that'll be your second column, okay? Your column for this particular event that we're doing, the fourth column will be points. I'm going to put that up there. And then the last column is follow-up. Okay, so I'm going to get my book that I've done so that you can see a good example of what I'm talking about. Let's see, let's go to this one. Obviously, I've got to go back to this one. So I have written down, this is everybody that I spoke to in one day about the business. Now let me go back to an earlier one. These are people that I have followed up with. So let's say on this page right here, I'm going to just write some random names down. Sue, John, Kevin, Seymour, Marcus, James, Betty. Okay, Sue wants more information. So I send her the product information page. I send her a video, whatever I'm sending her as a tool. I'll be able to see that when I go back into Messenger and I have that conversation. I'm going to know that I have to follow up with her in one day. So in that far column, I'm going to put a 1. Okay. I talked to John. John is not interested at all. He didn't say anything, he ghosted me, something like that. I'm going to put, he doesn't need my time right now. So I'm either going to put 30 days or 60 days. I'm going to go ahead and put 60. If he ghosted me, I'm putting 60. Okay. Kevin is on vacation. just not ready right now. He's kind of interested. So I'm going to put a 7. These are your key numbers: 1, 7, 10, 30, and 60. Your 1 days are your ones that are hot and ready to go. They're falling into that funnel. You know, everybody talks about the funnel, and every name is at the top of that funnel. And as they go through the exposures, they are either eliminated or they drop down a level. And so until they get to that buying process. And then they go back into another funnel if they're just a customer, because then they'll go through the do you want to build a business funnel, and slightly exposing them to that information. So now we have Kevin. Kevin is slightly interested. He's got a lot going on in his life. You know, you're going to have to kind of judge where this conversation is going. Is he follow up the next day? Probably not if he's too busy to chat right now. Is he a 10-day? Probably. He can be a 7 or a 10, depending. So then put a 10, and don't overthink when you follow up. Just in your heart, when do you think you should follow up? But those are the typical days when you're going to follow up with someone: 1, 7, 10. And these people never go off your list unless they lose their heartbeat. They are constantly in this funnel. You're either touching base with them, seeing how life is going, announcing new products releases. Maybe you know that the Detox Divas are covering joint inflammation on one of the calls, and we'll say Kevin has joint inflammation. So we're going to send him a message. Hey, I was thinking about you. I saw that the Detox Divas are covering inflammation. I know that's something you suffer with. Would you like to be invited to the call to watch live, or can I send you the replay? I don't give them another choice on something that they're not going to be interested, or that I don't give them a choice to not be interested. I give them the choice. Do you want to watch it live, or would you like the replay? And then they'll answer one of those ways for me. So they go on that. Okay, so the next day I know that, let's see, we know Seymour was interested, Marcus was interested, James was interested, and Betty was interested. So on 7-3, I'm going to go and have that same column. I'm going to have my names. I'm going to have my source, which is what platform. I'm going to have my points for this contest. And then I'm going to have my follow-up. Okay, got my columns. So I'm going to follow up with Sue first. Sue has received the product information page. Sue has received a video, something. I'm going to follow up with Sue because I put a 1 on this page right here to follow up in 1 day. Okay. So I go to my 1 day, I put Sue down, I send her a message. Hey, Sue, I just wanted to touch base with you. I sent you some information yesterday. What were some of your favorite parts that you that you saw from that video? Or what did you like best about the information I sent? Don't ask did you get to watch it? Because if they didn't, they're going to have some guilt, and it's going to bring some icky feelings into the conversation. They'll say, you know what, I haven't had a chance to watch it. Can you follow up with me in a couple days? So Sue has already taken some of my time. She's going to get a 7. I'm going to follow up with her in a week because I want to get to new people quickly, right? Does that make sense so far? So I want to get to new people quickly. Sue's going to go on a 7-day. Then I had Marcus. Marcus is all in. He wants to buy it right away. Sent him the information. Now today I sent the link. I'm going to put another 1 on there. I'm going to follow up with Marcus first thing on day 3. And I'm going to say, hey, just want to make sure the order went through correctly. And if you had any questions, here's some more information on the product that you purchased. Then I'm going to put Marcus down as a 7 after that. So these are just little love taps that we're doing along this journey, because as they say, the one thing that we can do in network marketing is provide phenomenal customer service that you can't get at Target, you can't get at Amazon or things like that. So now Marcus, let's say I've contacted him. I'm going to put down 10. I'm going to go back to this page, my first page. I'm going to cross him off because he has moved forward in this follow-up planner, this network marketing Bible. Sue, I've talked to Sue, put her forward. John is 7 days, so I can't follow up with him yet. I'm not going to do anything with his. I'm going to come back to him in a week, cross that off, and then move his name forward. Seymour, he purchased. I'm going to move that forward. We're going to contact Seymour, put him on that second day, put a 10 down so we can follow up on shipping, make sure he received the product, make sure he doesn't have any questions. And you can even put a little note in there, purchased, or a $sign or something like that, something small because you don't have a lot of room. And then that's how you do this. So then when you're done, you're going to have a sheet that looks like this with lines all the way through it. And then your 30s and 60s, you'll go back a month later, you'll touch base. Maybe if they weren't interested, you're not going to talk about the business. Maybe you're just going to provide that relationship building. Ask how the kids are. What have they been up to? If they mention something, say, oh yeah, we just covered that on a class. I just learned something about that with Detox Divas. Hint at it and move to the next part of the conversation. If they say, well, tell me more about that, then you've brought them back into the 1, 7, and 10. The 30 and 60 is only for people that aren't interested, but you want to maintain that relationship with, unless it's someone that you don't want to work with, that you know is never going to buy. Keep them on a 60. Because here's the deal. There's a gal in my organization that can do $100,000 a month in business. She's currently a customer, and but she appreciated the fact that I was constantly checking in with her. She wasn't interested in the business. She wasn't interested in the product, but I kept that relationship going and I kept loving on her through this 30 and 60 day process just to see how she's doing. How are the kids doing? How's her current business doing? What's her favorite product from her current line? Oh, that's great. We have something like that here too. Love it, love it, love it. And just keep that bond going. So am I making sense on this? You guys can go ahead and feel free to unmute too if you'd like and ask any questions. I want to make sure that you're fully understanding this, because once you start putting this into play, you're going to see, one, how much work that you do. Because one of my downfalls is if I'm not writing it down, I'm going to be beating myself up because I don't feel like I'm doing enough. But then when I look at sheets where it's front and back of conversations that I've had started, follow up on, or initiated, then I'm feeling pretty good that I've got a Bible of network marketing contacts. So let's say it's end of the month. And you can go back from the beginning of your network marketing Bible. And you can go through there and say, hey, listen, I know you're not interested in the business opportunity, but it's I'm trying to crush my sales at the end of the month. Would you mind trying this product? I know it would benefit you. And so when you've got that end of the month, and here's one thing too that we don't talk about enough in this company. We talk get to executive, get to executive, get to executive. Executive is great. But when you get into the higher ranks, you cannot go farther in the ranks with Heart and Body Naturals unless you are having the team bonuses. And that's where that volume is going to be important for those sales to come in. And so you're going to want to make sure that you have that follow-up game in place. You've got your network marketing Bible ready to go. Like even this week, you can go through all of your old notes if you've written them down in 15 different places. Go through those and move those into your network marketing Bible as you are talking to them through this 90-day challenge. And that is going to give you that extra oomph because you've already got one exposure in. And what do they say? It takes 8 to 12 exposures for someone to actually step forward and do the business or to purchase a product. And if you've never written your follow-ups down, you've never written your conversations down, you're going to lose those people. but not if you do this. And it's a very simple system. Anyone can do it. I've tried so many systems to keep track of this information, and nothing has worked like this one. So if anybody, Jessica, I know you just hopped on and you can catch the basics of the training when you watch the replay. But does anyone have any questions? Oh, I guess there's a chat. I didn't see that. Makes sense. Little late. That's okay. All right, no questions? That makes sense to everyone? So your hot market, your people that are ready to buy, that's a 1-day follow-up. Somebody that says they're ready to buy, you give the information, you follow up in that 1 day, and they haven't done anything, they go on a 7 or a 10-day follow-up. If they're not interested at all, it's a 30 or 60. Just keep loving on them through the process, and you will, your follow-up is where your money is going to be. And just remember, 8 to 10, 12 exposures is where you're going to get that sale. Yes, Lori.
Oh, I didn't know if you could hear me. I'm sorry. What did you say about if they're not interested? I had a young lady tell me in text that she's not interested in the new product.
Yep. So she just goes on. So in this, so you're going to write her name down on the day that I'm just going to put Missy down. Okay. And so Missy is going to go on. She's not interested right now. Let's put her on a 30. Okay. So as you're filling in day by day and doing all these numbers, and you're crossing off your 1 days as you reach out to them, you're crossing off your 10 days, 10 days later when you reach out to them, you cross off your 30 days when you reach out to them. In 30 days, you're going to follow up with Missy and say, hey, Missy, I hope all's going well. I just had to share this gal that that did try that product. She, had this benefit. I know you're not interested, but do you know anyone that might be interested in those benefits? If not, totally cool. And then you'd put her on a 30 or 60 day, and then you touch base. It doesn't always have to be about the business. It can be about developing those friendships. You see something in the news feed that they're doing, you go into their private messenger, because you can have better conversations in private messenger. And you can say, hey, I saw your post on this. That is so exciting, and kind of lead the conversation that way. Don't mention anything about business. And you can also say on those day 10s, a really good thing to say, especially if it's someone for business. You're going to say, hey, listen, I'm so sorry that I've not followed up. I've been super busy with everyone that's requesting the information on this. And I am ready to move forward with this. If you are, just let me know. I'm going to go hop on a call. Always be busy. Always have that sense of urgency. And if people think that you don't have time for them, that's the more time that they're going to want to have with you. Does that make sense? It's about a sense of urgency. It's about creating that excitement. It's about building that business and picking up people that want to be a part of it as they come along. Okay. Absolutely makes sense. All right. So if there are no more questions, I do like to keep my trainings very short and to the point. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then I will go upload this to YouTube. If you want the replay, go ahead and send me your email in private messenger, and then I will attach it. I'm not going to let this is going to be just by email only, and so that other teams can't get a hold of this, because we want to make sure. And Greta's on my team for real, just not in fantasy. But Greta, I'll need your email for that too. But there is one in the team group, also in the business group. All right, y'all. Thank you for your time this morning. Sorry it was such late notice. And I know a lot of people have things going on, but that replay will be available soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.